Now, DUP leader Sir Jeffrey Donaldson has urged Boris Johnson to prioritise the political crisis in Northern Ireland over controversies in Downing Street. Earlier this week, Northern Ireland's First Minister resigned over the government's failure to address unionist concerns about the Brexit border in the Irish Sea. Sir Jeffrey Donaldson said the fallout from lockdown parties in Number 10 was making it difficult for the Prime Minister to focus. He's been speaking to our senior Ireland correspondent, David Blevins.
Boris Johnson promised your party there would never be a border in the Irish Sea. Then he promised to remove that border. Why do you still trust him at all?
Well, the Prime Minister did let us down, and let us down badly. And at the Conservative Party conference this year, I met the Prime Minister. He apologised to me. The problem, David, is that we've had a lot of words about triggering Article 16, which the protocol allows the government to do in circumstances where there's economic or societal or political harm caused by the protocol, and yet we haven't had any action. I've asked for a commitment that if we don't get agreement, Article 16 will be triggered and the UK government will take unilateral action to honour the commitment the Prime Minister gave, to honour the commitment the government gave at the restoration of our devolved institutions, that they would take steps to introduce legislation to protect Northern Ireland's place within the UK, and they have failed to do that. That is why I have acted now.
So you've acted, the Agriculture Minister from your party halted checks. We know that's now subject to judicial review. But if a minister in the devolved government had the power to halt Brexit checks, how did Westminster have the power to remove Northern Ireland from the European Union in the first place?
Well, because the people of the United Kingdom voted for all of the United Kingdom to leave the European Union.
But doesn't that mean the government of the United Kingdom alone has the power to either halt or continue Brexit checks?
I believe that the government of the United Kingdom does have the power under Article 16 of the protocol to take unilateral action to protect Northern Ireland's place within the UK and to protect the integrity of the UK internal market. And I'm saying to them very clearly that if, and I want to see political stability in Northern Ireland, David. I worked for decades for political stability. That is my objective. But we can't have political stability when the concerns of unionists are being completely ignored, when this protocol is harming our relationship with the rest of the UK and the government is failing to act.
When do you want to see the Stormont election? And if the DUP doesn't win that election, are you prepared to nominate a Deputy First Minister and see a Sinn Féin First Minister?
Well, it is a matter for the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland to decide the timing of the election. We will be ready to take our case to the people as soon as that election is called. In terms of the outcome of the election, David, I want unionism to win. I am not contemplating defeat at the hands of Sinn Féin. My objective is to win the support of people in Northern Ireland to maintain the DUP and unionism as the largest bloc in the Northern Ireland Assembly. That's what I want to achieve, and I think in those circumstances we will have a unionist First Minister.
So what do you say to people who would fear that the DUP will just use the protocol row to prevent sharing power with Sinn Féin?
I'm committed to devolution and I am committed to sharing power with other parties in Northern Ireland. But we cannot go on with a situation where the views and concerns of unionism and unionist parties in Northern Ireland are being ignored. I want to restore fairness, I want to restore respect, I want to restore political stability in Northern Ireland, but that means the protocol has to be dealt with. Solutions need to be found, and the sooner that happens, the better. And I hope that before the Assembly election, David, we will get an agreement on dealing with the problems and resolving the difficulties created by this Irish Sea border.
The ousting of Arlene Foster revealed division in the DUP. The party's had 3 leaders and now 2 First Ministers in the space of 10 months. Is the party in meltdown?
I don't think that it is, David. We're preparing for the election. I've worked hard since I became leader of the DUP to heal the wounds. Like every political party, from time to time, the DUP has its differences. Sadly, last year, those differences became a very public affair. And I deeply regret that that happened. And I am working to pull the party together, to get the party into shape to fight the election and win the election for unionism.
Sir Jeffrey, the founder of this party, the Reverend Ian Paisley, would not have been impressed by boozy parties in Downing Street. Why is the DUP the only opposition party not calling for the Prime Minister's resignation?
Well, to be clear, we have spoken out very strongly. And I think that one of the most passionate speeches that we've seen in the House of Commons was that of my colleague Jim Shannon, the Member of Parliament for Strangford, who spoke powerfully about the experience of his family losing his mother-in-law during the COVID pandemic. But I would say this to the Prime Minister. Northern Ireland is an important part of the United Kingdom. You're our Prime Minister. And if you want to build confidence, then do what other Prime Ministers did in the past. Recognise that we have a serious problem here. And instead of being focused on what's going on in Downing Street, be the Prime Minister the people needs. Reach out to Northern Ireland. Help us to resolve these issues. Make this a priority. Let's get our political institutions restored on the basis of sound foundations. That means dealing with the protocol, making these issues a priority so that the people of Northern Ireland can enjoy strong, stable government. That's what we expect of a Prime Minister. We can't go on like this, David. We can't go on with a situation where serious problems like we have here in Northern Ireland are not getting the attention they deserve.
Those are strong words from a unionist party leader. Are you suggesting that Boris Johnson has made Northern Ireland such a low priority that the peace process is effectively being damaged?
I'm saying that all of the controversy surrounding Downing Street is making it difficult for the Prime Minister to focus on what needs to get priority. I recognise the situation, for example, in Ukraine is critical. I recognise that getting the UK out of COVID and into a more normal situation and the recovery of our economy and our supporting our health service are important. But so is Northern Ireland. And whilst I welcome very much the commitment of Liz Truss to drive forward the negotiations, it disappoints me that our Prime Minister cannot give a firm commitment today that if there is not agreement reached with the European Union, he will take the steps that are necessary to restore Northern Ireland's place within the UK internal market. That means triggering Article 16. That's the commitment I need to get from this Prime Minister.
And if he doesn't give it to you, there's not going to be a power-sharing government regardless of what happens during the election?
Well, if the Prime Minister, as I do, cherishes the union, and I believe that the Prime Minister is a unionist, then he needs to recognise that right now, Northern Ireland, there are serious problems here that need to be addressed. I want the Prime Minister to give that priority. I want the Prime Minister to give a firm commitment. No more words. We need action here in Northern Ireland.
Sir Jeffrey Donaldson, thank you very much.